Today we're gonna have some fun because we're doing your Money in the Bank predictions, the fan predictions here. So let's get into it. Damian Darrell says El Grande Americano wins Money in the Bank, but Chad Gable tries to cash in which Adam and Nick tell him he can't because he's not El Grande Americano. Only El Grande Americano can cash in on check. So I goes on like that, but thank you. I have a feeling that El Grande could win because he could do just that. With Damian Darrell, what you're talking about here, where El Grande has Money in the Bank, Chad does not. And so it's like this split personality thing. Like Chad Gable could be mad at El Grande Americano because he can't cash in. And so if you did have El Grande get Money in the Bank, he can walk around with it, teasing the cash in. He could tease a cash in on AAA, on the mega title, which it wouldn't surprise me if they did that, if WWE is just not interested in using Money in the Bank briefcase in the traditional way for the World or WWE Championship. But I love the idea of that, where the GMs are not letting him cash in. What I can see too, though, is Chad Gable tries to run down and do a cash in, and it's a failed cash in attempt. But then he says, well, I didn't really have Money in the Bank. El Grande Americano has Money in the Bank. And then he could do it. Cam Town down. Hi, Cam. He says LA Knight to win Money in the Bank. He deserves the moment. However, Seth is my dark horse. Reason being is because of the briefcase being held by Seth with Bronson and Braun, almost like a security insurance for it is an interesting idea. Now, Cam's got more ideas here, but I'll take the one here and we'll roll with it. LA Knight to win. He is my pick as well. Not my dark horse. You got Seth as your dark horse. Seth's my obvious pick for this, but for LA Knight, I think that it's a third year in a row. And based on the comments that I see, people are like, I want El Grande and I want LA Knight. Because I agree. I don't think that Seth needs Money in the Bank, although it makes the most sense for his story and the very clear, obvious direction they're going in. I feel like LA Knight is going to attempt to grab that briefcase and the crowd, and there's going to be a moment where it's like, oh my gosh, he could actually do it and win. I think that's when the crowd will go really insane, and then Seth grabs it and everyone boos, and then you get all the heat on Seth Rollins. But I do hope that Mr. LA Knight gets it because, well, I think it'd be more fun if he did an announced cash in to John Cena for SummerSlam, for Survivor Series, or you have LA Knight turn around and show up. Like, see, I'm really more in the camp of give me LA Knight showing up on Raw on June 9th or later, and he just inserts himself into the middle of this whole story that's going on to shake it up. It could be such a wild card if it's just the Sammy Punk Seth group combination, Jey Uso, all these guys just jockeying it, and then out of nowhere LA Knight just pops up and he is now shot right into the main event, and everyone's like, well, what are we gonna do about this guy? And he's like, I'm the wild card because I'm the megastar, dummy. Aravindrak says, I'm sorry, Naomi wins Money in the Bank briefcase and uses it against Tiffany at the Evolution pay-per-view. Well, that's interesting. So Naomi is my pick to win Money in the Bank. Because I think she's just got a really cool story, and I want to see Money in the Bank like it's wrapped in caution tape. It makes so much sense. Rhea, I feel like, is too much of a safe pick, but that is an interesting little wrinkle of have it done at the Evolution pay-per-view. That would give that a lot more, I don't know, steam to it, because you could do Tiffany versus Bianca. You could do Tiffany versus Nia again and do that at the Evolution pay-per-view. Just give her like a standard title match, but Naomi cashing in at Evolution, that would punctuate it really well, because I would assume you're going to have matches from Raw, SmackDown, and NXT, and they might do TNA as well. But I think that if you had Naomi at Evolution cash in, that'd be fun. That'd be kind of like, that would give it a kind of like little historical moment there. Scuba for Steve says, I predict at least 3 interferences like throughout the show. Let's see. Okay, Becky and Lyra, there's a potential for Bayley to interfere there. So there's 1. 2, you have the tag team match with Cody. Does the Money in the Bank winner cash in on the Cody match and interfere in that? It's possible. Or Travis Scott gets involved and costs Cody match. I don't know. The other interference, I think the other obvious one is the men's Money in the Bank, where you would have Braun and Bronson, Punk, Sammy, all getting involved in Money in the Bank. I think that men's Money in the Bank could go off the rails in a fun way, where it's going to be just a schmoz of interference from just everybody. Real Kayfabe says Seth and Naomi get the briefcase to solidify their heel runs. I think that's pretty, I think you're accurate. And the other point is Cody pins Cena to justify a rematch for the championship at SummerSlam. Do you agree? Do you think that we would actually get Cody pinning Cena? I could see it, because then yes, you were totally right. Cody then just shows up on SmackDown again and he's like, I got vodka, what do you want to talk about? And then they're like, why? And he's like, shut up. So Cody turns around, he's like, I got a rematch with John Cena. And so off we go. It does justify it very, very clearly. Hold on, I have Homer Simpson coffee to have. I do feel in that tag match, Logan Paul eats the pin. He won at Mania, doesn't need a protected loss. Cena kind of does. And it's almost like Cody pins Logan Paul and he's like that much closer to John Cena. You could still have him justify it by just saying, hey, you lost the tag team match, I want a rematch. But I think you're right. If you did have a surprising moment of Cena getting pinned by Cody, then totally Cody can turn around and be like, I get a rematch. Cody also can come off of WrestleMania 41 and be like, don't I get a rematch? Also, we've had Roman in the tag team matches. You guys tell me below. What was it? Was it like the Bloodline Rules tag where it was Jimmy and Jay and they pinned Roman? Wasn't it that one? And Roman got pinned, but it was a tag team match, but we hadn't seen Roman get pinned. And that was a big, big deal. And that was kind of their big victory over Roman Reigns. I think that was it. Jay pinned Roman. Pretty sure. But that's where I feel like you could do that. You could have Cody beat Cena. And I just feel like they also, WWE, they're kind of corny sometimes. I got the feeling they're going to turn around and be like, hey, we won. Triple H is like, hey, I want to recreate what we did last year where you guys just went and yeeted and all of that and you got tipsy. I feel like they want to kind of shoehorn that. When WWE has something like organically funny, they tend to make it, to overdo it. Josh in Texas says, I would assume it's Seth and Roxanne winning. Seth has guys to help him win. And Roxanne, I think, is about to shoot up to the top of Raw. Kind of bummed, only 4 matches. I'm sure they will add another 1 or 2. But who knows? Okay, Roxanne, because we've spoken about Seth. Roxanne is interesting to me because I do see her with Money in the Bank. I think that it's a really good tease against Liv. And I think you are going to be pushing to Liv becoming a babyface at some point. It's not yet. It's a lot of carbon copy, I think, of the Rhea story with Judgment Day. And now they're flipping it, and now it's like, let's do something similar, but it's going to happen to Liv, and it's because of Roxanne. Now, Roxanne is really more paired with Finn. Like, it's Finn who is the problem here, and he's awesome for it. But Finn is the one who's manipulating everything with Liv Morgan. So it's more of them feuding and less Roxanne. But Roxanne with Money in the Bank, it's a lot of fun, because Finn Balor can help maybe get Roxanne to win the title against Io or whoever is champion down the road. And then you have Roxanne holding that over Liv's head. And I said this in a previous video, I think for my predictions, but I was saying how it would help Judgment Day, that story, and to really, propel Roxanne to the top, like you said, but get that story more momentum again, because then you have Liv, Raquel have the tag titles. Roxanne has the world title. You've got Dom with the IC title, and JD and Finn could pick up the tag title. So you do have all of Judgment Day draped in gold, but all the cracks coming through, where Finn is just sticking it to Liv. Not in that way, but he's using Roxanne as a proxy. 4 matches, that's the other piece here. I think other people mentioned this too. 4 matches is low. Come on, Triple H, give us 5 to 6. It's Money in the Bank. You got 2 ladder matches that are what? At this rate, they're going to be 45 minutes long. I mean, entrances, although the Jey Uso Yeet entrance is going to be at least 9 minutes, so there is that. Kidding. It's a joke. So I think that you are going to have these long matches. The tag team match is going to be long. Like, they're all going to have to be very long matches. If you've got 30, 45 minutes a piece, yeah, you filled out a pay-per-view. But this happened with like Saturday Night's Main Event. At the last minute, they announced Chelsea and Zelina to be in a match one-on-one. And that was not pre-booked at all. They didn't plan for that at all. So I could see on SmackDown, they turn around and they're going to do something. I don't know who else is gonna have a match. Could they get another women's match on the card? I don't know what they would do. Dom and somebody, but yeah, they got no plans. They actually don't really have maybe a tag team match, tag team title match. Maybe that actually makes a PLE SmackDown tag team titles, huh? Put them on a freaking PLE. Greg says Punk interferes in the men's ladder match, costing Seth to win and setting up the two for a final encounter at SummerSlam. Yeah, I could see that. Punk is not on the card. He lost the qualifying match, right? And so did AJ Styles. So AJ's just doing nothing. He is going to go fight Dom at some point. So with Punk losing the qualifier because of Seth and his group, I really think you are going to get some crazy kind of shenanigans ending where Braun and Bronson are out there to kind of play security, and they're trying to keep off Sammy and Punk, and that maybe just Punk. And then you could end up with, yeah, Punk could cost Seth the Money in the Bank briefcase. And then you do have an LA Knight pick it up and the crowd goes crazy for it. Because the thing is with Seth, we know that that is kind of the plan. That is the path, is Seth world champion. But you don't really need Money in the Bank to do that, right? You just don't. You can have Seth lose, the crowd goes insane because somebody else, like LA Knight as an example, gets Money in the Bank. People love it. And then Punk and Seth, like you said, they can just roll off and have their feud. They could have it with Jay for the world title. Like, it doesn't have to be for Money in the Bank. I think it's more interesting they do that, but I also see like potentially Sammy turning heel, kind of, and fighting CM Punk. I can see that too. Oh, B-Man the Champ says, okay, something different here for the men's. Says, I think Solo is going to win Money in the Bank, and if they're allowing the holder to cash in on mid-card champions as well. So he can betray Fatu and cash in on him. See, this is where it gets interesting. Wasn't there some report online, it's the internet, but wasn't there some report of like Triple H apparently not liking Money in the Bank? The prop, the idea of Money in the Bank, something like that. I mean, it wouldn't be the first time they did a mid-card cash in. It was just awful last time when they did that with Austin Theory. But you know what? If you do have Solo in there, see, Solo should really want that WWE championship. That was the whole point to everything, with everything you went through with Roman. But yeah, now he's so focused on Fatu. It would be kind of cool if he did turn around and he was kind of teasing like he's going to go for the main big titles, and he uses Money in the Bank with the rest of his new bloodline and screws over Fatu like he doesn't see it coming. Like Jacob is in a Damian Priest match, and then at the end Fatu retains, and then all you have is Solo standing there, holds his arm, and he hits him with the briefcase. He cashes in and he takes his US title. There's your feud. Like, I mean, you don't really need Money in the Bank to do that feud, but you know what? It would be interesting. I just wonder if they are going to be like doing something different with one of the Money in the Bank briefcases, not going after main belt. Oh, stop it. Mr. Not a Boater maybe says Stephanie Vaquera gets a wardrobe malfunction. Stop it. Stop it. It is the greatest says Assemble Wrestling will win the briefcase. No, he won't. He's too much of a big dummy. Oh, what about this one? LA Knight, yeah, says LA Knight will win Money in the Bank. I'm shocked you think that. By Roman Reigns returning by accosting Seth after Punk tries to cost him, but gets taken out by the Bronze. You know what? That is kind of interesting. We haven't seen Roman at all, and that would set things up for SummerSlam. Now, if you do have that, you have LA Knight win, like we talked about before. Punk interfering feels obvious, but maybe it is one more twist where Punk does get taken out by the Bronze, or Punk and Sammy get taken out and they equalize with the Bronze. And then you're left with looking like Seth is going to win Money in the Bank. Tribal Chiefs music hits. Spear. And he's over. And then LA Knight wins. Seems to be all about how we get LA Knight to win, apparently. Okay, Shaquille Oatmeal, that's a great name, says Andrade wins the ladder match by shoving El Grande Americano off the ladder and cashes in on Chad Gable to win the AAA title, putting him in a feud with both culminating in a triple threat at SummerSlam. But he can't do that. We can't have El Grande and Chad and Andrade in a triple threat. I don't think that works. But Andrade winning, he could win and then cash in for the AAA title. And that brings some WWE talent over there. Also, you're not doing much with Andrade. And if Triple H doesn't want to use Money in the Bank, the men's Money in the Bank briefcase in any like WWE capacity, yeah, just use it for AAA. And Sooner Fan says, I feel Stephanie Vaquera is getting the rocket treatment, so she wins Money in the Bank. And I believe Solo costs Seth his chance and LA Knight gets the Money in the Bank. Or Roman returns and costs Solo and Seth the briefcase, leading up to LA Knight picking up. Man, everyone is really feeling LA Knight this round. All right. Stephanie Vaquera, I love the women's Money in the Bank this year because it does feel like anybody could win. That's what you want with one of these Money in the Bank matches. The men's side, it's not like that. There's only a couple options I feel like are realistic. The women's side, they could easily put it on Vaquera. I did not have it in my predictions of Stephanie Vaquera winning. I think that she would be having a big showcase, but maybe they want to protect her and have her win and just, yeah, go right up to the tippy top. Because if you don't have Rhea winning, Rhea is so obvious to win women's Money in the Bank. I feel it's boring. I don't know about you, but I feel like, mommy doesn't really need briefcase. But Stephanie, you want to put somebody brand new at the top of the women's division immediately? Yeah, you put it on Stephanie and she can go and tease it and run with it. And she doesn't have any story right now, right? Because she's brand new. Like, she's just starting out on main roster. So with the briefcase, it kind of gets her automatically into the main title scene. She can mix it up with everybody from Roxanne to Io Sky to Rhea she can get up there immediately because she has the briefcase and just starts playing around with that until she cashes in. And she could cash in on Io. See, Stephanie Vaquero is a babyface, so cashing in on Io really wouldn't work that well. So I don't know. I don't know how you would do that unless she announces a cash in against Io and then it's a respect thing. But who knows how they're gonna do it. But thanks for stopping by. Thanks for all your submissions, guys. And if you want my official predictions, because they matter so very much, but the official Money in the Bank predictions video is right here. Subscribe to the channel if you can. Have a great day. See ya.